I'm going to start today with some big news, some really good news. Some of you, hopefully all of you, are going to be very happy about these preambles that have been missing from the last couple of episodes. They're back today. I have two little things to say. This is called a callback. In the industry, you maybe it's over your head, you don't understand that, but in the industry, it's a callback, which means I'm going to talk about something that I talked about before. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that I bought something from Amazon, and the day after I bought it, or long time after I bought it, I got an email or message saying your payment was declined. They said, please choose another payment or fix the problem if you want this order to go through. And I thought I was going to have to call my bank and go through all kinds of problems. And then like the next day, magically, my order was approved and it got shipped. The same thing happened again yesterday. I made an order, and hours later, I ordered it last night, and then this morning I woke up to an email saying your payment method was declined. Please choose another method. And then just minutes ago, I got a notification saying that my product had shipped. Unfortunately, they are charging me. It would be nice if they said your payment was declined and then they sent it without charging me. But anyway, so that was a little weird thing. Another thing, another callback. Last week I was wearing a Kiss t-shirt. I don't know what video it was, but I mentioned that t-shirt, I normally wear size medium, but that t-shirt was size small, because when I bought it, the medium looked huge. It looked enormous. So I got the small, and even the small was big. The small was like down to there, and the sleeves were down to here. And I could have an extra small. This shirt is the opposite. You know what size this shirt is? If you can, is there a tag on it? There should be. I don't know if you can see it or not. I think there's a tag somewhere. There it is, I think. It's double XL. This is a double XL, and look at how it fits. It's, I guess actually it fits perfectly, but it's a double XL. I bought this in Vietnam, and they're small people over there, so everything is quite small. I bought this originally in XL. I picked up medium. I thought there's no way this would fit large. No, still wouldn't fit. So I bought XL, went back to my hotel, and I looked at it, I thought, maybe this is still not big enough. I tried it on, had to take it back and said, hey, you guys are really small, and your clothes are too small for me. So this is a double XL. So isn't that something else? Isn't that something really interesting? But forget about all that, or don't forget about it. Remember it. I'm going to talk about today, right now, Diver Down, Van Halen, and here it is here. This was my second Van Halen album. So this didn't have the impact on me that Fair Warning did, which I talked about for Fair Warning a couple of weeks ago. But this was the first Van Halen album that I bought that it was new after I was already into them. Like I said, I got into them during Fair Warning, and then so when this came out, I was anticipating it, and I was very excited to get it. And I always have considered it my second favorite Van Halen album after Fair Warning. Fair Warning is a clear number one. But in recent years, maybe in the last 3 to 5 years, there's another one that I think has passed Diver Down. So Diver Down, I would say it's not that Diver Down dropped to third, it's that this other one passed it and moved into second place. And maybe I'll let it slip, or maybe I'll even talk about that album one day, the one that's number 2. So for me, Diver Down is number 3. And it's a very strange, very inconsistent album. I've talked so many times about filler, and that there's good filler and bad filler, and there are different types of fillers, covers, instrumentals, intros, spoken word things, hidden tracks, things like that. That's all filler. This album has a lot of that. Despite that, as I said, I do love this album. I know a lot of people really hate this album, probably for that reason. But to me, and maybe it has to do with the age, as so many things, musically that I've talked about, depends the age when you get into it. When I was 12 years old, I didn't care about stuff like that. I didn't care about covers or instrumentals or anything like that. I just thought, hey, this is a great record, and I still think that. But this has, and I think it's really short too, which I have no problem with. I actually like that. It's 30. I'm sure it's less than 32 minutes, maybe 30 and a half, 31, somewhere around there. Very, very short, and it's 10 or 11 songs. It is a full album, but a lot of filler on there. So I can understand it if people don't like it. I fully understand that. I just disagree. I think it's a great, great, great album. Number 3, that's very high. So I will open it now, and then I'll go through it track by track. Great sounding album, as I've said. I think those first 6 Van Halen albums, the debut, Van Halen 2, Women and Children First, Fair Warning, Diver Down, and 1984, all sound amazing. And all sound, I think, the same. 5150, not just because of Sammy Hagar, 5150, I think, was a little bit of a different sound for Van Halen. And again, not just more keyboards and worse songs, but just had a little bit of a different sound. This album sounds awesome, and there's no box for it. It's just in the box like this. Oh, and there it is. Hey, look at this. Oh, I had no idea. This is this is a I got this from Amazon, and it turns out that it's a Walmart exclusive. I had no idea. It definitely didn't say that when I bought it, which means it says collectible backstage pass replica. It's funny how they call everything collectible. Anything collected is collectible. Now, you could cut your fingernails and chew them and collect those. It's not like people are sitting around saying, hey, I'm going to collect Van Halen replica backstage passes. But I guess that's a nice bonus, a cool bonus, and that's a surprise too. Had no idea. This is another one, made in Czech Republic. Fair warning, when I got it a couple of weeks ago, that one was made in Netherlands. This one is from Czech Republic. I had something else from Germany recently. All right, and so there it is. It's this is obviously the diver down, the universal symbol that when a diver is swimming below the surface, the boat has this to warn people around it. And there's the back. Now the picture, this live picture, is from a 1981 concert that Van Halen opened for the Rolling Stones, which I had no idea. I had no clue. I was 12 years old when I got this record, and I just thought, hey, man, that's a Van Halen. If it's a Van Halen record, it must be the Van Halen concert. And then many, many years later, well into the internet era, I learned that was from a Rolling Stones show that Van Halen opened for, which makes sense. Van Halen wasn't playing to this many people in 1981. Maybe at like some festival, Texas Jam or Day on the Green or something like that. And man, looking at it now, I loved all of these, the live pictures. David Lee Roth doing that high kick and Alex's big drum set. Michael Anthony looked like he was slamming down his bass, and Eddie kind of jumping and dancing at the camera. Kind of a little bit of a boring album cover, but the back cover is great. So I'll open this up and I'll take a look at this collectible backstage pass. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I guess I have so many of these, collectible things, stickers, pins, patches, things like that, and they just collect, and I guess maybe in some time they're cool to look back on. All right, but oh no, first I have to take a picture. Diver Down is about to be opened right now. I don't have my knife out again. There we go. All right. Nothing to get into here. There's no little opening, no little slit. So let me do it the dangerous way. Let's see what this backstage pass looks like. Can I remember I did obviously have this record, as I mentioned, back in 1982. If I can remember what the, Van Halen never had lyrics back then. 5150, I'm sure, was the first one that had the lyrics. But the inside, can't remember what the inside of this looked like. No, don't remember. Let's take a look. Well, hold on. Let's see if that backstage pass is gonna... There it is. All right. Look at that. That is kind of cool. And for some reason, it's from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, October 19th, 1982. That is kind of cool. I have no practical purpose for it, but it's maybe collectible is a little bit strong, but I do like it. That's cool. All right, so I'll put that there. So here it is. Oh, of course I remember this. Oh yes, I love this. That collage. Oh man, I used to not quite as good as lyrics, but I used to spend a lot of time when I would listen to this record, which was a lot. I would look at this collage. Yeah, I remember. Man, some of these pictures. This one, David Lee Roth with the big giant cowboy hat. I remember this as if I just looked at it yesterday. Excellent, fantastic collage. And then there was, yeah, I remember this photo too. Very cool. So not quite, it's not great packaging, but that's a pretty cool collage. I've said many times, give me pictures and lyrics, and that's good. And they got half of that. Now let's see what the record looked like. The record back then was the classic Warner Brothers label. I'm sure this one is not. No, it's not. It's I mean, it says Warner Records on it, but it's not the Warner Brothers label. All right. So going through this track by track, the first song is "Where Have All the Good Times Gone?" Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? I love that song. I'm sure at the time I had no idea. I knew it was a cover, I guess, because I used to love liner notes and reading credits. And it was it's a Kinks song, and it's credited to, I guess, I don't know if Ray Davies wrote it. Let me see who the writing credits are. Ray Davies, that's it, just Ray Davies, him. I guess I knew the Kinks at that time, but I'm pretty sure I didn't know who Ray Davies was. I didn't know that it was a Kinks song. I knew Van Halen didn't write it. Is this correct, in correct order? No, it's not the correct. Same with so many albums are like this. They have a different order on the jacket than on the actual record. So I'll keep this out for reference. So Where Have All the Good Times Gone? It's a cover. It's a Kinks cover. But as far as I'm concerned, back then and even now, and I have heard the original at this point, it's a Van Halen song. Van Halen was really good, especially back then, at making songs sound like they wrote them. This could have easily been a Van Halen song. The lyrics, the musical tone of it, just the overall tone of the song could easily have been a Van Halen song. Ma and Pollock back on all the things they used to do. Never had no money, and they always told the truth. Yeah, excellent song. Hang 'em High is next. Great riff to open that one, and fast, and a great vocal delivery too. David Lee Roth sings kind of what's the word I'm looking for? How he sings that song. I don't know. And I mentioned in the last episode, AC/DC, that I was never good at getting AC/DC lyrics. And same with, I mentioned also Van Halen too. Still, this album, there are a lot of lyrics. I mentioned, I don't know Back in Black. I've heard that song, God knows how many times, and I still don't know the lyrics to it. And there are a lot of Van Halen songs on this album and others that I also don't know. I know the music as well as you can ever know any music. I know the melody of the songs, but I don't always know the lyrics. But great vocal delivery in Hang 'em High. Now, let me see if I can remember what was next. After Hang 'em High was it Cathedral was next? Let me check. Yes, Cathedral is next. The short, how long was this? In 1 minute 20. Filler instrumental. This really weird. It's guitar. I don't know if I knew at the time when I was 12 years old that it was guitar, because it didn't sound like guitar, which is why Eddie Van Halen was so great and why he's so beloved, was because he did things that people thought, what the hell is he doing? And Cathedral had this really, really weird, and it was called Cathedral because it sounded like an organ. It sounded like an organ in a church or a cathedral. This really, really weird guitar solo. He had Eruption, obviously, and Spanish Fly, and these other instrumentals. But Cathedral was very, very strange. But I love it. And next was, what was after Cathedral? Secrets? God, this is really sticky. Secrets is next. Oh, what a great song that is. A really nice kind of in the vein of Push Comes to Shove. It sounds a little bit lighter and happier than Push Comes to Shove. Just a very gentle, breezy, light summer song. Great backing vocals too. That's another, and when I hear it, when I sing along, I kind of know some of the lyrics, but I never caught on with this one, which is probably because Van Halen and AC/DC didn't put the lyrics in their records. But Secrets, maybe that makes me feel like I have more to learn. Maybe I can sit down with, there's so many lyric websites, and maybe I can sit down and really pay attention and maybe learn these songs almost all over again. Now I got to take this out again. What comes after Secrets? It was Intruder, I think. Yeah, Intruder. Now another filler instrumental, which was really just nothing more than an intro to the next song, which is Pretty Woman. But Intruder was cool too. Very cool sounding. And it kind of builds and builds and builds until Pretty Woman comes in. Or Oh, yeah, it was Oh, parentheses, Oh, Pretty Woman. Roy Orbison song. This was the only cover on this song that I knew. My parents, I think especially my dad, was a big Roy Orbison fan. So I knew, and I think probably everybody knew Pretty Woman at that time. It was from the late 50s, early 60s, I don't even know. But my dad used to listen to Pretty Woman all the time. So it was, and I loved it then. I still love it now. I listened to this record earlier today. Well, not the record, but the album. And I don't think I ever had a problem with any of these songs, but especially with Pretty Woman. Amazing. Great. And again, to me, it sounds like a Van Halen song. The next side would be, I know the first one was Dancing in the Street. Now this one, I don't know who sings that. I know it's an old Motown song, but I can't remember who sings it. This one I think I also did know at the time or shortly after. This is obviously a very big song, the original version. But again, Van Halen made it their own. And they, similar to Kissin' Time by Kiss on the first Kiss album, they name checked. I know it's not a cover. I mean, I know it's not original, it's a cover, both of them. But they name check Don't Forget the Motor City, Baltimore and DC Now, Up in New York City. And great, maybe more than any other Van Halen song, the backing vocals on Dancing in the Street, they're amazing, first of all, but they're really, I noticed this today, and I remember this from years ago, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. I always sang along and followed along in my head and my ears with the lead vocal, with David Lee Roth. But the backing vocal, especially during, I guess, is it the chorus or the pre-chorus? They'll be dancing. Ooh, how did it go? They were hard to follow when you try and sing along with the backing vocal. For me, it was very difficult because I've been singing along for 41 years now with the lead vocal. But the backing vocals for Dancing in the Street are just fantastic, second to none. What was next? Oh, was it the Little Guitars intro? Yeah, more filler. Now this is the third instrumental, third or fourth? Third, I think. Third instrumental already. This is just a nice acoustic intro. I don't know, let's say Spanish Fly. Not Eruption, Spanish Fly. Acoustic guitar intro. And it's just called, very unoriginally, oh, you know what? The record doesn't list Little Guitars intro. Look at that. It just has Little Guitars, which is listed second, but on the actual record, it was listed as a separate track, only 42 seconds long. It was listed as Little Guitars intro. I don't remember that it wasn't listed on the album, but that's all it was. It was just listed as just a little intro, and then Little Guitars comes in. Now, I mentioned when I did this video talking about Fair Warning last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, that the first 5 songs on Fair Warning could pretty much be my top 5 Van Halen songs in their whole catalog, with one exception. There's also one other exception which I'd forgotten about at the time, but I remembered after and I remember it now. But that exception is Little Guitars. If it's not Unfair Warning, Little Guitars is maybe my favorite Van Halen song ever, and one other one, not from this album, but another album. Yeah, oh my God, Little Guitars is just for sure my favorite on this album, and one of my favorite Van Halen songs in their whole catalog, which as far as I'm concerned may as well just be the first 6 albums with David Lee Roth. But you know, the drum intro and then that just amazing guitar that and then Senorita, I'm in trouble again and I can't break free. Senorita, you're exactly what the doctor ordered, come on, talk to me. Can't crawl before I'm out of the woods, but there's exceptions to the rule. Oh my God, just again, another similar to Secrets. It doesn't sound like Secrets, but it's just such a nice, fun, light, breezy summer song. Oh man, Little Guitars. And then, oh, you know what? I was listening to this song about a week and a half ago. I drove to Tepoztlan, which is a beautiful town about 20 kilometers from where I live. And with Lilia, we were going there for lunch. And I was playing random songs in the car. And I played Little Guitars just as we were parking. And it got almost to the part, I think he's saying sketch. Yeah, can anybody in that right mind can see? And I shut the car off just before that part came on. And Lilia started saying, dun, 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 dun. And I looked at her very surprised. I said, you know that song? She said, yeah, you've played it many times. She has a very good musical memory. So I was very impressed that Lilia knew at least the melody to Little Guitars, and that also that my propaganda after all these years was paying off, that she does remember some of the music that I like. But I thought that was cool. But then another great thing about the song is it ends, you know, all the instruments drop, and it's just I guess an outro guitar, just which is the same as same guitar as what plays during the verses of the song, but it's isolated. There's no vocals, drums, bass. It's just the guitar, and and it just ends very, very cool. Little Guitars, oof, as they say in Mexico. Oh, que canción! Yeah, just amazing song. I lost track there. Que rola. Next is, whoops, that's the wrong side. Big Bad Will is Sweet William Now, another cover and a goofy cover, and I do like it. I liked it then, I like it now, but it's a goofy cover. It's you know, this kind of jazzy guitar, clarinet. It's Jan Van Halen, Eddie and Alex's father, playing the clarinet. Now way down yonder, what is it? Way down yonder, down in Louisville, lived a cat named Big Bad Bill. I love that song. I think it's a great song, but I can understand that people wouldn't like it because it's not a rockin' Van Halen song, but very fun and a cover as well. And then next, I think there are 2 left. Who was next? Full Bug. Let me see, Full Bug, and then Happy Trails. Yeah, Full Bug is next. Kind of a weird, kind of a growling intro, a little bit, it's acoustic. And then when the song kicks in, it reminds me of, or later I was reminded of it, it really, really sounds, how can I say this? Shoot the Preacher Down by Bullet Boys on the first Bullet Boys album. Really, really, really sounds like the Full Bug. And I guess I knew that at the time, and I still love that first Bullet Boys album. And they were obviously very, 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 very Van Halen influenced, including being produced by Ted Templeman, who produced this album and Fair Warning. And did he produce Women and Children first and the first 2? Did he produce all 6 of the David Lee Roth albums? I can't remember. But yeah, very, you know, the best part of a man, yeah. Very fast, and Shoot the Preacher Down by Bullet Boys was clearly, maybe not a ripoff, but Really, really sounds like full buck. And then the last song, it's another one. It's another cover, another kind of goofy cover. It's just a cappella. Happy trails to you. Until we meet again, happy trails to you. I always liked it. Maybe if I'd heard this album for the first time now, or when I was an adult, maybe I would think this album sucks and this song sucks. But I think Happy Trails is a great song. It's all four of them singing. Dave kind of goes off and does lead at a couple of points, but for the most part, it's all four of them singing a cappella. I guess Alex Van Halen sings as well. Is he credited with vocals? No, actually nobody is credited with vocals or any instruments. Just that. But great song and cool way to end the album. So as I said, very, very, very inconsistent. Let me tally it up here. I'll get that back in later. So we've got, okay, covers. Let's see, covers. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Pretty Woman, Big Bad Bill, Sweet William Now, and Happy Trail. So 4 covers. Instrumentals, Intruder, a Cathedral. Wasn't there another one? Oh, and Little Guitar's Intro, which is not listed on here. So 4 covers, 3 instrumentals, which leaves only brand new, complete, with lyrics songs on this album. I think there's what, 3 or 4? Little Guitars, Hang 'em High, Secrets, and the Full Bug. That's it. So that, that's almost like just like an EP like that. And then the rest is filler. So they could have put out a full album, which is fine with me. But I know this is not a popular album. Maybe you can leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of Van Halen Diver Down. Are you in my camp? Do you think it's an excellent album and, forget about what anybody else thinks? Or are you one of the people that thinks, no, this is crap. This is a bunch of filler. I'm not sure, but please do leave a comment down below. All right, that is all from me, and we got Dan Delaney and DD Diver Down. That's very, very interesting, and that's how I'm going to end this video.